let's talk about the God and the Goddess of Wicca. Hi, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com, and if you're new to this channel and you want to learn how to become a witch or a Wiccan, hit the subscribe button below so that you don't miss anything. In this video, I'm going to help you understand the difference between the duotheistic idea of working with the God and Goddess, generally speaking, and working with many gods and goddesses, and about that whole thing to do with the matron or patron deity, which I have spoken about before. So there's a lot of people who struggle in Wicca, and I did this myself when I first started for quite some time, with the idea of working with individual deities as opposed to working with the goddess or the god or the goddess and the god. So we say in Wicca that all goddesses are one goddess and all gods are one god, and that everything is part of a whole, part of a unified consciousness, so to speak. So often when people come to Wicca, we read a lot about the goddess, we read a lot about the god, and they're spoken about as if they are two beings all on their own. And then we learn that there's all these different goddesses and gods from all these different pantheons from around the world. And it can be a bit daunting at first, because when you first come to paganism, you may not be familiar with different deities from different pantheons from around the world. Maybe you've heard about Aphrodite and you've heard about Zeus, but they're kind of characters in Greek epics, and in our modern Western culture anyway, we come from a monotheistic mindset. So the idea of the deities that were pagan, like the Greek deities, the Norse deities, the Egyptian deities, are kind of just like characters in stories that people who were, living back in those times believed in. So it's not part of our culture to understand polytheism, essentially. So when we first come to Wicca, we connect with the god and the goddess, and it's very natural for us as Westerners to start out that way, and it's perfectly okay. I didn't really start working with individual deities, even though in the covens that I was in, we did work with deities. We had coven deities, and most covens will have like coven deities. I still didn't really connect with those deities in the way that I can connect with them now. And so for a very long time, probably 10 years or so, I related to the goddess as a pretty much as a single entity with different aspects associated with her, almost like they were archetypes associated with her. And the same with the god energy, that there were these different expressions of the god energy through all these different types of gods, like Zeus, Apollo, whatnot, but they were kind of like archetypal expressions of the god energy. So when I did any work with invocation or any circle work, I worked with the goddess and the god. I didn't give them names. And that's okay. People ask me about that, and that's the reason why I've made this video, is that if you are in that situation where you are confused about the whole thing, don't worry about it. But as you practice the craft, you start to get a feel for these things. In the Mystery Witch School Academy course that I teach, the 12-month course, I incorporate working with various different gods and goddesses in the last half of the course, so that people can get a feel for how to work with individual deities and to work with those deities for a month at a time. So you actually build a relationship with the deities. So you get an idea of what it's like to work with, say, Briid for a month, what it's like to work with Isis and Osiris for a month, so that you get a sense of working with the different aspects of the goddess and the different aspects of the god in their varying attributes and expressions thereof. So really what this video is telling you is that just allow yourself to enjoy the process of connecting to the feminine and the masculine, and as you experiment and practice the craft, and don't think about it so much, but practice it. Practice working with different deities. Just practice it. Just get a feel for them, and then see for yourself where things fit in. When it comes to matron and patron deities, that's kind of something else as well. That comes out of doing a lot of experimentation and working with various deities. And that's something that will come to you at some stage, but it's not something that you need to worry about when you're first starting out. If you're resonating with the goddess general and the god generally, start with that. Enjoy the energy of working with the deities but without names. And then when you feel ready, start working with the individual expressions thereof. So that is my advice for working with, say, dualtheism, which is the god and goddess general, and polytheism, which is all of the individual gods and goddesses. So if you are in that position where you are wanting to really work within that Wiccan framework, where you can work with both the idea of the goddess and God, generally speaking, and the individual expressions thereof, or the different gods and goddesses, then do explore the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy course that I offer. The details are below this video in the description field below. If you want to have a talk to me about the course, you can also book a clarity session with me. The details, my booking form is also in the description field below, okay? Because I understand some people want to talk about it because they want to know whether it really is for them or not, which is fine. Okay, so do take advantage of that. I love working with the deities generally and individually, so it can be done. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments, please put them in the comments field. If you liked the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. Blessed be.